for the Juventino.
They're just waiting to start.
Right there, Tom. Ajá.
Así como está.
Dice,
Ah, sí, pero lo
Ah, es feroz.
No, y profunda.
Testing, testing.
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Can everybody please place their devices on mute, please?
Good to go. Thanks, buddy. Sorry for snapping. All right, let me get this out of the way. The 341st case at the hospital, is it on the civil docket or is it on the regular docket?
Your Honor, I thought it was at the 49th.
Is it the 49th?
Yes, Your Honor, this is a mental, a commitment hearing in accordance with 46B.102. I don't know if there's a docket for it or if it's just been placed on for a hearing.
What's the name of the gentleman?
Juventino Almendares,
No, hold on.
and he's probably going to need an interpreter. And this is Fred Trevino speaking for Mr. Almendares.
So it's in the 49th and not the 341st?
The add-on docket, Your Honor, on the 49th.
Okay. Oh, I got it. Okay. All right, let me call the court reporter. Are you ready? And Merab, we're gonna need an interpreter.
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay. The court is going to call 2019 CRF 1541D1 in the matter of the state of Texas versus Juventino Almendares Jr. Appearance of the attorneys for the record, please.
Fred Trevino for the defendant, Your Honor.
Rogelio Soto for the state, Your Honor.
Judge,
Estamos aquí en el caso.
I don't believe the
Caso
court reporter has
2016.
Who?
court reporter.
Oh.
Let me give him a call, Judge.
Who's the court reporter?
Ace court reporting, Judge.
Mr. Trevino, I have a copy of the report from the,
Yes, Your Honor, and I believe the state will stipulate as to the admitting the report for the record.
all
We
right,
have no objection.
let me have, I guess we
That's
just,
correct, Your Honor. We won't be objecting. We'll stipulate to the report.
we're missing a court reporter.
And Your Honor, we'll be submitting, I think right now, I don't know who you want us to email the order that's necessary for this hearing. We have it. I have one prepared for you. I'll just email it to your email, or do you want me to email it to Alma?
That's probably better. Send it to Alma Sashi.
Yes, Your Honor.
It'll get signed once we get through this. All right, we're still waiting for the court reporter. Buenas tardes,
Buenas tardes, señor. Buenas tardes,
señor Almendares.
señor.
Good afternoon.
Estamos esperando el reportero de la corte y vamos a comenzar pronto.
Bien, se agradece. Gracias.
Well, now that he's here, I don't know if he recognizes me, but I'm going to address Mr. Almendares.
Yes.
Mr. Almendares, you remember me?
Señor Almendares, ¿sí lo reconoce al señor que le acaba de dar el saludo?
Sí, ¿de qué persona se trata? No tengo más que borroso de mirar de lejos. Perdón, su excelencia.
I apologize, Your Honor. I can't see from far away. It gets blurry.
¿Se acuerda del nombre de su abogado?
No, creo que llevaba el apellido de Rodríguez, sí. Al menos así lo conozco yo porque del trabajo de mi papá se presentaba para cuando trabajamos para ellos. En plomero.
I believe his last name is Rodriguez. That's his last name. When he used to work for my dad at his job, he was a plumber.
But then I can't remember that so long time ago. So for more than 4 months, I mean, for 8, no, very good.
I believe the court reporter's in, Your Honor.
All right, I don't see her or him. Oh, it's Mr. Clayton.
Mhm.
I will feature and some things.
Let us know when you're ready, Mr. Clayton.
We're ready, Your Honor.
Thank you. Only one.
All right, the court is going to call 2019 CRF 1541D1 in the matter of the state of Texas versus Juventino Almendares Jr.
Estamos aquí en el caso 2016 CRF 1541D1 en el caso del estado de Texas en contra de Juventino Almendares Jr.
Appearance of the attorneys for the record, please.
Fred Trevino,
Abogados
on behalf of
presentes.
Mr. Almendares.
Rogelio Soto for the state.
Tenemos a Fred Treviño en representación del señor Almendares y al señor Rogelio Soto en representación del procurador.
And I have before me the Texas Health and Human Services report. Is there any objection to it being admitted?
También tengo el informe aquí del Departamento de Salud y Servicios a las Personas. ¿Hay alguna protesta para este informe que sea admitido como prueba?
No, no objections on behalf of Mr. Almendarez, and we'll stipulate to the veracity of the report, Your Honor.
No, no hay una protesta en representación del señor Almendares y vamos a estipular a la veracidad de tal informe.
And no objection from the state, Your Honor, and we as well will be stipulating to the report's findings.
Okay.
No ninguna protesta de parte del procurador y también estamos estipulando al informe.
Alma, is there any way you can pick that up so it's not ringing here on the bench, or do I just hang up on them?
No, Judge, I can. Just hang it up.
Okay. Okay. Anything further from either side?
No, Your Honor. Also, well, on behalf of my defendant, we're waiving a trial by jury in this matter. So we're requesting a bench trial on this matter. And that's what we're having at this moment.
Algo que quieran dar un anuncio en este caso. No, su señoría, lo único es que estamos ahorita renunciando al tener un juicio por medio de un jurado y estamos pidiendo un juicio mediante el juez.
Do we need to set it on the docket then, Mr. Trevino?
Tengo que darles una fecha entonces, señor Treviño.
I believe so, Your Honor. This is just a trial as to I guess the findings of the doctors, and also as to whether or not he gets committed for another year. We're not waiving trial by jury as to the underlying offense.
Creo que sí, su señoría, estamos ahorita pidiendo una fecha para que el juez pueda determinar el informe del doctor y si él va a seguir internado por el siguiente año. No estamos renunciando al juicio para los cargos, sino solo para esta cuestión.
So, Alma, I'm seeing here that Judge Lopez is going to handle the in custody on the 8th. Is that enough time, Mr. Trevino?
Your Honor, enough time for what?
For the bench trial? Because we
No,
need
Your Honor, this is the bench trial for, this hearing would be the bench trial for this issue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you said you needed a bench trial, so you want it now.
Well, it's just as to whether or not the court's going to accept the findings, if we're fighting the findings of the hospital, and just to have him committed for up to another year until in accordance with 46B.082 or 46B.102.
Yes, Your
No,
Honor.
el juicio con el juez es para el día de hoy, no necesitamos otra fecha. Es nada más para ver si va a aceptar usted las recomendaciones de parte del doctor para que él pueda ser internado por un año más en el hospital. Esto es basado en la sección 46B.082 y 46B.102.
So is the year that the possible year, is that in order to restore competency?
Este
Yes, Your
año
Honor.
que él tendría que estar internado es para poder restaurar la competencia de tal individuo. Sí, su señoría.
Yes, Your Honor, if I may, I believe also Dr. Yakub is present on Zoom, Judge, in case we need testimony to be put on, Your Honor.
De parte del procurador también tenemos al doctor Yakub presente si necesitamos que él dé alguna declaración.
Well, yeah, and my concern would be committing them to a year without knowing whether or not there's an expectation that his competency can be restored sooner than that. And that way we can maybe set a status hearing, a few months down the road.
They usually, in these types of events, Your Honor, they usually notify us once if competency has been restored prior to the year, or if not, we come back at a year and we address it. But there have been instances where I've been notified that an individual has been restored to competency. So they've set it down for an earlier setting. The hospital.
Yes, Your Honor. It's just to be in accordance with the statute. So they're given a year, and if he still needs more treatment, he stays in another year. If his competency has been restored, then they notify the court and us, the state and myself, that his competency has been restored, and they request that he get brought back. And then,
Judge, if I may, that's how we set up this, court date today, because we were notified by the hospital to set him up.
If I may, Your Honor, this is the interpreter. Sí, en este momento lo que me concierne a mí es que si él va a estar internado por un año, ¿cómo vamos a saber si él ha sido restaurado antes? Estaría bien poner una fecha para el asesoramiento. De parte de su abogado dice, si usualmente nos notifican a nosotros si es que él llega a ser restaurado antes del año. De parte del procurador está de acuerdo si se interna por un año y se le interna al siguiente año, pero si llega a ser restaurado antes de eso, se nos indica a nosotros, al tribunal y al procurador, y podemos poner una fecha antes.
Okay, so I'm looking here, Mr. Trevino, in the report where that has been admitted that the recommendation is that he continue his psychiatric treatment to see if he can be restored.
yes, Your Honor.
Do we need to put the doctor on really just to restate that?
I don't believe so. The doctor's here, I think, an abundance of caution in case there was any objections to the report being admitted or the findings of the doctor. But since
That's
I believe
correct.
both parties are stipulating and agreeing to it, no objections, I think that's all the evidence the court would need or find necessary.
Entonces también tengo aquí el informe que ha sido admitido para que se pueda tener el tratamiento psiquiátrico de esta persona para ver si puede ser restaurada. En realidad necesitas al doctor para que él dé su declaración. No, su señoría, no se necesita la declaración del doctor, era solamente si había una protesta en la determinación de su informe. Y ya que las dos partes hemos estipulado, es todo lo que se necesita.
Okay. Anything further then, Mr. Trevino or Mr. Soto?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. We just ask that the court adopt the recommendation of the doctor.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
And it will be the court's determination to adopt the findings submitted in the report that has been admitted into evidence. And the court will order that Mr. Almendares continue his treatment for another year and ask, though, as indicated, as it seems to be the practice, to notify the court if his competency is restored before that year.
Muy bien, entonces, ¿hay alguna protesta de parte de cualquier parte? De parte del procurador, no, su señoría, estamos pidiendo que se admita el informe. De parte de su abogado también estamos pidiendo lo mismo. El juez ha determinado entonces que vamos a aceptar lo que se ha presentado como prueba y que el señor Almendares siga tratamiento por un año como ha sido indicado y que nos avisen si él llega a ser restaurado antes de esto.
And just for the court's notification, I believe one of the boxes to be signed by the court would be that whether or not there's a finding of violence in the charge. And I believe because it's a charge against a child, it's per se a finding of violence, Your Honor, just so that you know when you're filling out the order.
The one that you're going to submit to Alma?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Alma, can you make a note of that to make sure we get it done right?
I'm sorry,
Solo para su informe.
the return back, yes, I'll take care of it. Yes.
Solo para la información del juez, para la orden, va a haber una forma para que usted vaya a poder firmar, su señoría. Y si usted cree que hubo violencia en parte de este delito y como fue contra un menor, entonces sí, la determinación es que sí.
All right. Anything further then, Mr. Trevino?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Muy bien, ¿algo más? No, su señoría.
Good luck, Mr. Almendares. Buena suerte, señor Almendares. Que le vaya bien.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
we have Gio logged in, Your Honor. Daniel Herrera, he's on page 1, the 341st docket.
All
Thank
right.
you, Dr. Yakub.
Thank you, doctor. for your
Thank you, Ms. Robb.
The court is on the 341st. The court is going to call 2020 CRM 964D3, the state of Texas versus Daniel Herrera. Good afternoon, Mr. Herrera. There you go. We're here on an MTR arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you hear us okay, Mr. Herrera?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Herrera, your appearance here is because the state filed a motion to revoke your probation. They filed a petition alleging that you violated certain conditions. So I'm going to ask your attorney if he has an announcement for you regarding those allegations. Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, my client pleads not true to the conditions alleged. We waive the reading of the state's motion and we request a final hearing date.
March 2nd at 8:30, Your Honor.
March 2nd at 8:30.
Your Honor, if my client can just say, how is he going to be in federal custody much longer?
I'm gonna be like 4 to 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, may be heard, Paul Thompson for the state. If we could just have maybe 15 days more, so I think what we're going to try and do in this case is get the federal judgment. We may be able to resolve it with that.
Yeah, why don't we do March 22nd at 1 p.m.
And does the defendant know when he might perhaps be sentenced federally, or do we?
March 8th. March 8th.
March 8th. Do we need more time?
Maybe,
Yes.
Your Honor.
All right, let's bump it back to April 4th at 8:30 in the morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That'll give you enough time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Good luck with everything. Okay. We started with the hospital, so I didn't get a chance to take announcements on quick resets. Any defense attorneys with an agreed reset so that we can let the jail know, so we can shorten the docket a little bit. We've got a lot of stuff today. Anyone?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Alberto Long, standing in for Roberto Valli, in particular for 2022 CRD 9651.
Which case? Okay, 49?
Yes, Your Honor. Last name Canales.
Page 3, Your Honor, on the 49th docket.
All right, in the matter of the state of Texas versus Victoria Elisa Canales.
Yes. Attorney Alberto Long for Ms. Canales. Your Honor, Ms. Canales is currently in federal custody until March 12th. We are in receipt of an offer from the DA's office, and we're currently working on that. So we would just respectfully ask for some additional time, the next available setting, so we can go ahead and finalize that.
She gets out on the 12th of March.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why don't we set it for April 12th at 9 a.m. That'll give you a month.
Thank you, Your Honor. That'll work.
Your Honor, can you repeat the date, please?
April 12th, 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Judge, if I may, will she still be in custody? Because that's an in custody date.
Oh, that's right.
I don't believe she will be, Your Honor.
Mr. Long?
Yes, ma'am. I do not think
We
she
can't
will
hear you.
be.
She will be out already?
She will be out. She will not be in custody for that April setting.
Do we have a regular setting?
Yes, when did you say she was gonna get out? March what?
March 12th. And
Okay. We have a March 24th regular date in our court at 9 a.m.
That'll work.
Okay, at 9
Thank
a.m.
you.
Yes,
Ms. Alma, what was the date? I'm sorry.
March the 24th.
9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Long. You're excused.
Your Honor, I actually have one more matter, if I may.
Sure.
Last name Shunier. It is the 2013 matter, 1093D3.
It's on page 4, Your Honor, the 341st docket.
The court calls 2013 CRD 1093D3, the state of Texas versus Victor Manuel Schuner.
Got it. Yes, Your Honor, Alberto Long here for Mr. Chunier. There's been an outstanding capias on our client for some time, during which time I don't believe our office was in contact with him. He just turned himself in 2 days ago. So I believe we have a final hearing on a motion to revoke probation. We would just ask for a new date for that final hearing, preferably after the week of March 6th, if possible.
Yeah, and actually, I think he picked up some new charges because I magistrated him 2 days ago. The name rung a bell.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you need a date after March what?
March 6th. So anytime in mid-March would work for us, Your Honor.
Okay, let's set it for March 22nd at 1 p.m. and that'll be back here with me.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that is all I have before the court. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lung.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other quick announcements so we can shorten the docket? Mr. Trevino, you're on mute.
Judge, I have a case with Mr. Vela.
I know, which court?
49. I have been made an offer. I am trying to negotiate something with one of the attorneys, hopefully to reduce the time. But I have not been able to talk to them.
Who's the defendant?
What's your client's name?
Alejandro Vela.
Alejandro Vela, Judge.
Your Honor, that's gonna be in the 406 docket on page 2 and 3.
But we also have one in the 49.
He's not on the 49th docket, Your Honor.
Did you hear that, Mr. Trevino?
Yes, sir.
But he does have a case.
Jocelyn, can I have his date of birth?
Yes, Alma, the date of birth will be 8/5/1997.
And what was his name?
Alejandro Vela.
Alejandro Vela.
Okay.
As far as I understand, Your Honor, he's going to plead guilty to the cases in the 49th and the other cases may be dismissed.
Yes,
I've been trying to schedule a meeting with Ana Karen Garza Gutierrez, I believe.
Yes, Your Honor. Chris Calderon for the state. The cases are all in the 406 and they're being handled, some of them by Ms. Garza.
Well, Alma's trying to determine if he's set for a plea in the 49th.
No, Your Honor, he doesn't have any cases in the 49th.
I haven't made
No,
an offer.
no, Judge, he doesn't. He has 3 cases at the 406.
Okay.
Yeah, 2021 CRO D80D4, 2021 CRO 1096D4, 2021 CRO 1502D4.
I'm showing he has 4 cases in the 406.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. 4 cases.
Yes. 2022 CRD 169D4.
Okay, at any rate, it doesn't look like it's ready to go forward anyways. So how much time do you need, Mr. Trevino?
30 days, Your Honor. In the year 2055.
We'll set it for March 22nd at 1 p.m.
Okay. That's
Jail,
fine.
yeah, is the jail getting these names? Don't bring Mr. Vela out.
Yes, we got it, Your Honor.
All right, anything else, Mr. Trevino?
No, Your Honor.
All
Just let God bless and protect all of us, Judge.
Who called you?
Thank you, Trevino. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Any other announcements?
I have one, Your Honor, as to, it's a waiver arraignment that I filed my waiver, Your Honor, so in that way, the court can just simply accept my filing that just got accepted about an hour ago. And it's Tomas Alejandro Aguilar in the 341st. It's,
Your Honor, it's gonna be page 1.
Yeah, no, I have the waiver here.
Sorry, page 2.
that way the court doesn't need to call this defendant anymore. He's aware of it.
On the 341st, on what page?
Page 2, Your Honor.
Just so I can take them off my list. I got it. Okay. And you got your dates, right?
No, not yet, but usually the court sends me that later on. That's fine.
It's March 14th for informals and pretrial on April 4th.
Okay. Yes, I'll double check. I guess it's a murder case, so I don't know whether they treat that as a complex case. And
Your Honor, I'll send him the new dates, Your Honor.
Okay. It looks like they're going to give you more time then. That's fine. All right, the order's been signed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any other quick announcements before we start calling the docket?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
This is represented with the Public Defender's Office. On page 2 of the 341st docket, it's Ruben Rodriguez, and he's currently there at the Rio Grande Center.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and take that up so we can get them off. The court is going to call 2022 CRM 758D3, the state of Texas versus Ruben Rodriguez. Good afternoon, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we're asking for a recess for a final pretrial. We are working on this matter with the state. And we can just get another day, Your Honor, to finalize it, and so that I can go ahead and speak to my client.
How much time do you need?
Maybe 30 days, Your Honor, should be sufficient.
Well, I'm going to give you till March 8th. March 8th at 9:30, is that good?
Yes, that's enough, Your Honor.
$9:30. All right. Okay, then thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, and good luck.
Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Brizuela? No.
Further, Your Honor.
All right, it looks like we're ready to. Who do we have at the jail in the green room or the elevator room?
Honor, the first defendant taking a seat is Martinez Benito Jr. It's going to be on page 1 of the 49th criminal docket.
The court calls 2022 CRO 412D1, the state of Texas versus Benito Martinez Jr. Mr. Zard? Mr. Martinez, did you talk to your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Judge, am I made?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Rudy.
Yes, Judge, Joe Rodriguez for the state. So there was a new case indicted, Judge. Mr. Czar was aware of it. It's 2023 CRD 88D1. I don't believe we have a court date yet, but we were going to try to work both of these cases out.
Yeah, I seem to recall there was some indication that there was going to be a reset on this. Well, without Mr. Martinez, without your attorney being here, it looks like he was going to reset the case anyways so that they can work it with the other one. I don't know that there's a whole lot we can do. How much time do you think you need, Mr. Rodriguez?
That'd be up to Mr. Zard, Judge. He already got an offer, and I believe he's aware of the facts on the new case. So he would just have to go through the discovery. But it was just indicted last week, Judge, so I'm assuming he would need some time.
All right, I'm gonna set it. Let's push it back too far. Let's set it for April 4th at 8:30 then.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Mr. Dancos, we'll take you up in a sec, okay?
Next, Your Honor, we have Luis Camacho, 406.
Your Honor, I believe he's on the 49th.
Yes, Your Honor, it's gonna be the 49th docket, page 3.
Court calls 2014 PRP 1426 D1 in the matter of the state of Texas versus Luis Alonso Camacho.
Your Honor, this is a motion to revoke a final hearing. We have an agreement with the state. We don't know if the court would like to take it up right now or reset it for a plea. He's going to be pleading true in exchange for being adjudicated. He's going to be adjudicated, Your Honor, because it's a motion to adjudicate. So it's not a motion to revoke, and then he's going to plead true and then get accept probation for the remainder of what the probation's available. That's the deal. So we could if I don't know if the court wants to have some paperwork on the adjudication and pleading to probation, or he wants to go ahead and accept the plea today. If not, we could set it up for a next plea date.
Well, we have the 22nd or the 22nd of February or March 2nd.
The 22nd of February would be better, Your Honor.
Okay.
So we can get him out.
Okay, then that'll work. So we'll reset the case for plea on February 22nd at 9:30. Did you get all that, Mr. Camacho?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck. Looks like it's going to get resolved here pretty soon. All right, good luck, sir.
Hello, Your Honor. It's going to be on page 1 of the 49th criminal docket. Defendant's going to be Rodriguez Saul. Rodriguez Saul.
Court calls 2021 CRJ 1405 D1, the state of Texas versus Saul Iram Rodriguez.
Your Honor, he's also on page 2, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Franca, I'm here on behalf of Saul Iram Rodriguez.
All right, hold on a second. The court is also calling 2021 CRI 1509 D1, 2021 CRJ 1404 D1, and 2021 CRJ 1508 D1. State of Texas versus Saul Iram Rodriguez.
Judge, if I may, Mr. Villafranca also filed motions to set bond. They're there with you.
I have them. I'm looking at those right now.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember this was, I think I signed off on a motion to allow him to wear his street clothes into court last time. Is this the one, Mr. Villafranca?
I'm not sure, Judge. I'm not the first attorney on this case. I believe the public defenders had him, but withdrew. I've spoken to Mr. Rodriguez, Judge, and we're not ready to take any kind of plea right now. My client is considering one. However, and I believe we're just here for a motion setting or evidence exchange. I'm not sure, but we do ask for the next court setting. However, my client did ask me to submit motions to set bond in this case, Judge, or reduce bond.
Yeah, one of the things, when I looked through actually, I saw your motions earlier, but they're kind of bare, and there's no indication of what his bond is set at now, or whether he just doesn't have a bond. What's going on with the 4 cases? 4 cases.
We're working on a plea in this case, Judge, in these cases.
No, but he's been in jail 270 days, and are you able to tell me whether he has a bond, and if he does, what the amounts are?
You know, when I looked, I believe they were at 0 bond,
So he has no bonds?
from what I understand, Judge, from when I looked.
Your Honor, he's not in custody for case 1405. He's in custody for case 2021-1509 and 2021-1508. He also has some new charges. And those have no bond as well.
He has new charges? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. For case 1509 D1 on page 2, he has a bond of 40,000 cash flow surety. And for the case ending in 1508, he has a bond of 17,000 cash flow surety, and on count 2, 5,000 cash flow surety.
What was the last one, the last case you said?
The one ending in 1508, Your Honor.
Yeah, I got that one, 17,000 on that one.
And then count 2 is going to be 5,000 cash flow surety.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Judge Valerie Villarreal, pretrial. Your Honor, just for the court's information, Mr. Rodriguez was out on pretrial bonds. We did revoke his bonds, Your Honor. He did fail to comply with the conditions because he was rearrested on new offenses.
Judge, and if I may, so I would oppose the bond, Judge. The offer is time to serve. He has 7 pending cases that haven't been filed, so a global offer was provided. And the bonds that he does have right now, I believe are reasonable, but the reason there is a no bond is because of the reoffending. So I would object to a bond.
Yeah, and without having information on the other charges, and normally, Mr. Rodriguez, I do, especially because you've been in there quite a bit, I would try to adjust your bonds to give you an opportunity to get out. But how much time are you looking at, Mr. To process the global offer?
No, we need another 30 days if possible.
Now, I'll give you a little bit more. We'll set it for March 22nd at 1 p.m., and that'll be with me. And hopefully we can get all the cases set. And at that time, depending on what happens, hopefully we'll have a plea, but if not, then I'll take up the matter again of trying to set a bond if possible.
Yes, Judge.
And is that for final pretrial, Judge, or the next setting?
Or do you want a status hearing, Judge?
Yeah, let's do a status because of all the other cases that are coming down the pike.
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor, it's going to be set for March 22nd at 1 p.m.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Honor. That's all I have. Let me excuse.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Villafranca. Good luck, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you. Next, Your Honor, we have Rodolfo Valverde, 406.
It's going to be on page 2, Your Honor.
And that is the plea, Your Honor, that I dropped off to you right now.
The court is going to call the following cases: 2022 CRD 842 D4 and 2021 CRH 1469 D4, the state of Texas versus Rodolfo Valverde.
There's 2 plea packets for him.
You're done? Can you do a plea, right? No.
Good afternoon, Mr. Valverde. Do you understand English?
Yes, sir.
The indication from the attorneys is that you're going to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first thing I have to do is I need to ask you to raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Your Honor, we're still missing Mr. Gonzalez, his attorney.
Oh, helpful. Who's this? I can't read the first name. Who's the Mr. Gonzalez? Which one?
Richard Gonzalez.
Richard. Marco, can you call Mr. Gonzalez, see if he's... I'm gonna call your attorney, Mr. Valverde, so stay there, stay right there. I'll do the other defendant and come right back to you. Who do we have in the elevator room?
Oh, Your Honor, it's gonna be defendant Sebastian Bravo. It's gonna be on the docket.
No, because they're gonna call my lawyer.
I didn't get, which docket?
It's on the 406 add-on, Your Honor.
The court calls 2021 CRO 1200 D4, the state of Texas versus Sebastian Bravo. Good afternoon, Mr. Bravo. Jail, can you unmute Mr. Bravo? I can't hear him.
Good afternoon. It was because it was muted, Judge. Thank you.
There you go. Good afternoon, Mr. Bravo.
Good afternoon.
Okay, is this yours, Mr. Salinas?
I believe so. I believe we were appointed, Your Honor.
All right.
Motion to revoke.
Mr. Bravo, you're here because the state filed a petition alleging you violated certain conditions of your probation. So I'm going to ask your attorney if he has an announcement for you regarding those allegations.
Yes, Your Honor.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
At this time, Mr. Bravo pleads not true to the conditions alleged. We waive the reading of the state's motion and we request the final hearing date, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez? Final hearing date for Mr. Bravo? Marco?
March 8th at 9:30, Your Honor.
March 8th at 9:30 then.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I had a question. For this MTR, is there gonna be any like bond or they just moved my court, ma'am? Sure.
Hold on a second. Valerie, do you have anything on Mr. Bravo?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm confirming.
I believe he has a no bond with the motion to adjudicate, Your Honor. He also has a case out of the 111th that's holding him, and he picked up new charges as well. So we didn't request a bond at this time, Your Honor. I believe this case and the 111th case, we're trying to work them out together. I believe they're asking for time in the 111th case, Your Honor. So if we could possibly, I mean, I guess if he's asking for a bond, Your Honor, or a reasonable bond, we're asking to be placed at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, the state is objecting to any bond. This is a motion to adjudicate. He picked up new charges, and one of them including abandonment, endangering of a child.
Yeah, and Mr. Bravo, normally, look, until I think Judge Knudsen is going to be in a better position to decide what to do with these cases. because I don't have that new case in front of me or that other case in front of me. So for right now, and normally I do try to work with the defendants to give them a chance to get out, but you've got some other stuff pending, so I'm going to deny any request for a bond right now. All right, sorry about that, but hopefully it'll get worked out in the plea.
Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, is Rodolfo Valverde still on standby?
Yes, and Mr. Gonzalez is here, so I think we're going to be ready to proceed on Mr. Valverde.
Okay, so is he next?
Yes, he's next.
Okay.
Mr. Gonzalez, you ready to proceed?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
I have the plea package here in front of me. All right.
Mr. Valverde, can you raise your right hand? Mr. Valverde, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you.
We're back here on the two cases ending in 842 and 1469 Mr. Gonzalez, any objection? Mr. Gonzalez, any objection to proceeding at the same time? Any objections to proceeding on the pleas on both cases at the same time?
No, Your Honor, there's no objection to that.
All right. So, Mr. Valverde, you're here on two cases. The one ending in 842 is an aggravated assault, and then 2 counts on the other one ending in 1469 for robbery and criminal mischief. Have you had enough time to talk to your attorney about what's going to happen here today and ask him questions about your case?
Yes, sir. We did talk about it.
Okay. And have you been satisfied with the services he's provided you?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that you need to tell me that prevents you from understanding what we're doing here today?
No, sir, I'm good.
Mr. Gonzalez, do you believe your client is competent to go forward on both cases?
Yes, I do believe, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Valverde, I have the plea packages here in front of me. Did Mr. Gonzalez go over these plea packages before you signed them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's your signature on the bottom left-hand corner of both packages?
Yes, sir.
In here, you're telling me that you're going to give up certain rights, and I'm going to cover a few of those to make sure you understand. And the first right you're giving up is a right to remain silent. You do not have to plead guilty today. You have the right to have a jury hear your case, a jury assess your punishment. Do you understand that you're giving up that right?
Yes, sir.
Also, if there was witnesses and evidence that was going to be presented against you, you have a right to confront them at trial. You're also giving up that right. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If I go along with this agreement and I approve it and I give you the punishment that you've agreed to or in that range, do you understand that you cannot complain about that punishment to a higher court unless you get special permission from this court?
Yes, sir.
And also, I have to ask everyone this question. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
And I understand that you're telling me that you are a U.S. citizen, but again, I have to tell everyone, even though they tell me that if you're not a U.S. citizen and you plead guilty, you could be subject to deportation, denied the right of reentry, and denied the right to become a U.S. citizen. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, I have to warn you about the maximum punishment a person could get if they plead guilty to the offenses they're going to plead to. The maximum punishment on case ending in 1469D4, you have a second-degree felony robbery. The maximum punishment you can get for a felony is term between 2 to 20 years in a state prison and a fine not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
For a state jail felony, the maximum punishment you can get is a term between 180 days to 2 years in a state jail and a fine not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And in the case ending in 842 D4, is that a state jail felony?
Me, Your Honor.
Yes.
On the first case, he's charged with,
On the aggravated assault, serious bodily injury,
that's only one count on that case, Your Honor.
I know, but what's the
It's a felony too.
felony two?
Yeah, so one down and there's two that are
And on the aggravated assault felony two, again, the maximum punishment is confinement between 2 to 20 years in prison and a fine not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Knowing all these things we talked about just now, do you still want to go forward with your plea of guilty today?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gonzalez, does the defense waive formal reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Valverde, as to count one, in case ending in 842 D4, aggravated assault with serious bodily injury, felony two, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
And on the case ending in 1469 D4, robbery felony two, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
And on count two of that, a state criminal misdemeanor, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Has anybody forced you?
No, sir.
Aside from the agreement that you have with the district attorney's office, has anyone promised you anything else for pleading guilty?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty today because you're accepting responsibility for those three offenses?
Yes, sir.
On both cases, the court has the plea package, State's Exhibit 1 on both cases. Are they being offered into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, offer State Exhibit 1, 2, and 3 for both cases.
Any objections, Mr.
There's no objection, Your Honor.
States 1, 2, and 3 on both cases will be admitted. So, Mr. Valverde, based on the evidence before the court and your testimony, the court is going to accept your pleas of guilty today. I find that the pleas made today were made freely and voluntarily. Court is also going to accept and approve you have in Texas, and your punishment will be as follows. On the case ending in 842 D4, your punishment will be assessed at 5 years to serve in the TDCJ. In determining that sentence, the court is taking into account the indicated cases under 1245. Is that 341st, 22, 06, 1110, 341st, 2206, 706, 341st case 2206, 707, and 341st case 2206, 704?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
And the court is also going to approve that this case run concurrent with the second case we're going to address right now. And also that the district attorney's office will not accept for prosecution their file number 2104-646. Mr. Valverde will be given credit for all his time served. And the punishment, on the punishment in the case ending in 1469D4 will also be 5 years to serve in TDCJ and 2 years for the state jail felony, also to be served in the TDCJ. And also the court's taking into account in assessing this punishment, the indicated cases in the 341st ending in 06-1110 or 11-0, 2206-706, 2206-707, and 2206-704. And this case will also run concurrent with the first case and approve the indication that the district attorneys will not accept for prosecution their file number 2104-646. And the court will also approve all credit for time served for Mr. Valverde. And the court will assess court cost only on the case ending in 1469, and will waive them on the one ending in 8.
Your Honor, for case ending in 1469, court costs will be $615 and 500 attorney fees.
And as indicated in the case ending in 842 D4, the court will waive court costs and attorney's fees from Mr. Valverde.
Yes, Your Honor. May I address the court?
You may.
Judge, this defendant was,
Mr. Gonzalez.
Your Honor, this defendant was arrested on August 24th of 2022, and he's been in here. The charges that are showing on the internet are 4 counts of burglary of a vehicle, 4 counts of theft, less than 2,500 with 2 or more priors, I think, and 2 counts of credit card abuse. And it's our understanding, Your Honor, that those are the charges that are being included under the 1245 provisions. That's our understanding, Your Honor.
Well, I have the numbers. I mean, is there any indication that that might be incorrect? Ms.
No,
Gallo?
Your Honor, I just want to be clear that it's our understanding that we're getting rid of everything that he had pending from the arrest on August 24th. There's not anything there showing anything more serious than the 4 counts of burglary of a vehicle and theft of property.
Well,
The
I mean, I
credit card
have,
abuse shows 2 counts, Your Honor.
I mean, there's 4 file numbers indicated here on both cases, along with the one that is not going to be. So there's 5 cases that are being disposed of, aside from the ones that he pled out to today.
Yes, Your Honor. And I don't know if the court has discretion, Your Honor, to give him credit for the time that he has served since August 24th, considering that the court, that he's admitting guilt on all those charges, Your Honor.
Well, I've already given him credit for time served.
Well, the credit that the court is giving him is credit that he received before this last arrest on August 24th. I don't think there was a bond lift, so he hasn't been getting credit on the robbery and on the
In other words, for the cases that are not being pursued.
well, Your Honor, since he's been detained since August 24th of last year, and since all of those cases are part of this case, under the provisions of 12.45, We're asking the court if the court can give him the additional credit from August 24th, 2022 to the present, Your Honor.
Ms. Calderon, did you get that?
I heard him, but I don't think that can be done. I mean, that's why we do bond lifts on these cases.
Well, he understands that part, Your Honor. It's just a question. That's what it was, Your Honor.
I mean, he already has 247 credit towards the charges where he did plead guilty. I don't think that can be done, Your Honor. If not, every defendant would try to request credit for time served on all their other cases.
All these charges are being included as part of this plea packet.
No, I understand what you're saying is,
1245, Your Honor. They're not saying that they're dismissing those. He's going to prison on all of those charges. Your Honor. That's part of the plea packet.
well, that's a new one on me. Well, to the extent possible, Mr. Gonzalez, I mean, if it's allowed under
Yes,
Texas
Your Honor.
rules of criminal procedure, the court will grant him every day he's entitled to, starting from August 24th, 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't think that's an unreasonable request. So that'll be approved to the extent that it can be. All right.
And Your Honor, who's gonna decide? Sorry, who's gonna decide what extent is that? Like, I mean, the clerks are not gonna know.
Your Honor, we could just give him any credit the Webb County gives him. So what was the date? August?
24th, 2022.
August 21st, 2022.
24th. August 24th.
Yes, Your Honor, but those are for other charges, not on this cases.
He didn't, yeah,
But
actually,
those other charges are part of this plea packet, Your Honor. He's admitting guilt on all of those charges that he's being detained on.
If Mr. Gonzalez is asking for this, he should show the code section where this is allowed.
Well, I can do that within the next few days, Your Honor. If I can find something, I'll submit it to Ms. Calderon.
Your Honor, should we just reset this case?
We don't want to reset it, Your Honor.
no, I mean, I think my ruling kind of covers, to the extent it's permissible, it'll be allowed. So the onus is going to be on you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
To provide that to the court and the district attorney's office.
Yes, Your Honor.
So to the extent, I think my ruling covers that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right?
Okay. Yes, Your Honor, just to confirm, August 21st?
24th. 24th.
The year is 2022, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
thank you.
All right. All right, we've got a defendant here in the courtroom, so let me take up this matter. Which docket are you on, Mr. Dan Costa?
I'm on the 406 docket, Your Honor. And my client is present.
Blanca,
Villarreal, please come forward.
the 406, you said?
406, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, it's the first case.
One.
Mr. Thompson, I believe this was your case.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. I believe somebody from DCP wanted to be here to advise you on this matter because there are going to be, their point of contention would be with DCP. Is anyone here from DCP? Could they unmute and be resourced to the court?
They're not in court, Your Honor.
Actually, this case was staffed with me. Mr. Luis De Leon is our probation officer. So I have extensive history with Ms. Villarreal, and to the extent that they would have been here to testify, it would have been information that the court already has.
Okay.
And I dealt with Ms. Villarreal quite a bit in the drug court program, so I am kind of familiar with what's going on and let me just tell you what I know, what the recommendations are, and you all can correct me, is, and this part is at the judge's discretion, is that they don't want to accept her back unless she goes to long-term, because she's been there 3 times. And the last one with me. But obviously, again, I can order that. But this is a 2016 case, so I want to see if we can't give it some resolution today.
And Your Honor, maybe heard, I believe what they're specifically saying is they wanted her to go to SafeP, not inpatient. The state's position is we're okay with ISF, substance abuse. We are advocating that she definitely needs some type of inpatient treatment before she goes back to DCP. I believe she's on a deferred adjudication, so I believe the court is also may have a possibility of extending it longer. But that's the state's position. We just want her to go to inpatient, and then back to DCP. I think the opposing counsel wanted something similar. However, DCP was adamant that they wanted SafeP. That's all.
When the court is ready, I'd like to.
You go ahead, Mr. Dankos.
Thank you, Your Honor. As Paul, the prosecutor, has already indicated, what we're interested is getting her rehabilitated, not punished. It just seems to me that sending her to safety, Your Honor, is more along the lines of punishment. And we have to remember that she's been around with us since 2016, Judge. 2016 is when all this started, when she first was put on probation. And I've gone on to great lengths to prepare chronology. I don't want to tie the court up with a lot of time with all of this, but just real quickly, she started very young, at the age of 15, 16, when she had her first child. She's given birth to 2 children now, Judge. A beautiful little girl that's in Austin, working and going to college.
She's a behavioral therapist and works with severely autistic children. And she's attending college full-time for special education.
And of course, her son is also at Alexander, getting ready to graduate.
Senior in high school.
Those are her 2 children who she's raised in the middle of all this, Judge. Also, your mother,
with the help of my mom.
What did your mother do?
My mom was a teacher for over 30 years for the district. She's retired, and now she dedicates all of her time to caring for.
Mr. Dankos, it sounds like you and Mr. Thompson are on the same page on this. You just need
yes, we are.
You just need the court's intervention to.
We are, Judge. I won't take any more of your time, but we are. We would like for her, if possible, to get back into the drug program. She is not denying that she fell back.
I remember, and
yes, yes.
And
we just want a chance to get well. We've worked at it on our own. We couldn't make it. We just want another chance to get well. And there's been other people, Judge, that have been sent back to the same long-term program she was at for relapse. The drug program people are saying that there is no relapse at that particular institution, but there is, Judge. We have names of people from here, from Laredo, that were sent there for relapse purposes. So there is.
And the one that you want her sent to is a safety.
No, it's Hidalgo County Substance Abuse and SATF.
SATF.
And I can just explain the reasons why that was the longest treatment I've ever been to. But the way their program is set up is just, it sounds very cheesy, but you have so much time to work on yourself. I found myself again. I found things that made me happy. And I really learned to appreciate life outside of the life that I was living. And I came back I felt like I was a completely different person. And I came back and I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I was hitting it. I was on a roll. I enrolled in school full time. Unfortunately, I don't qualify for financial aid. Thank God for my fiance. Stuck by my side since this case has happened. Paid for all my classes, paid for my books. I was 3 classes away. I was hopefully going to be enrolling in the radiology program. I was taking anatomy, sociology, psychology, and then I messed up. And I knew that I was going to go to treatment, and I knew I had to turn myself in, so I had to withdraw. Just so devastating to me, but I know I did it to myself. All that money that he wasted, that he paid for, down the drain because I had to withdraw because I was arrested. And
But all of this helped you when you were over there, right? That's what we're trying to let the court know. And we believe that if you go back there, it'll help you again.
Definitely,
So-
definitely, I would recommend these to anybody and everybody if I could. Just
Mr. Thompson, you're going to withdraw your motion to revoke and ask the court to modify the terms of probation?
Yes, Your Honor, to include an inpatient and to place her back in DCP since, yeah, that's what we'll be asking.
And Mr. Dankos?
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah.
Okay. Then the court will accept the withdrawal of the motion to revoke and modify the conditions of probation to include the
What are
inpatient.
the next steps then, Your Honor, for her to know? Does she have to report to probation in the next week or so?
report the way I've been.
Where do we go from
Ms.
here?
Cordova, can you help us on that?
Yes, Your Honor, we would want her, I'm sorry, Alexis Cordova for the probation department. We would want Ms. Villarreal to report with her officer, Mr. De Leon, in drug court on Juarez Street. To continue reporting with her. But Your Honor, as far as the inpatient treatment, what treatment facility will she be going to then? Because drug court already made their decision as far as safety being their decision. So I don't know.
And Your Honor, maybe heard, and herein lies the rub, because there are 3 choices we've got. Well, DCP says only safety, but I'm going to leave that in your hands. However, and one of the reasons they wanted to is because there was such a short wait list to get in. The other 2 options would be CRTC or ISF substance abuse. I understand that ISF substance abuse, which would probably be the one she'd want the most. That's the reason we're here, is because she was sitting in jail for about over 2 months waiting for that facility. And then she opted out. So she may have a 2-month wait. And with CRTC, I don't know what the wait time would be, but whatever the shortest wait would be, we'd be recommending to you, Your Honor. And perhaps probation could be polled as to what the wait would be. But my understanding is she has to go in immediately and then they put her on the wait lists.
Yeah, she does have to be in before they'll accept her.
That's correct, Your Honor. As far as CRTC and SADF, I'm not too sure how long the waiting period is because it does vary. But when it comes to ISF or safety, there is about a 30-day wait period. But I wouldn't tell you about.
All right, look, let's do this. So while we sort this out, can we reset? I don't like the fact that my next in custody, because of spring break, is not until March 22nd. And I'll be in drug court on Tuesday and I can get clarification. And And that way I can abate the, I mean, I know where I'm going, but I'll just abate the decision until then. And so I can sort out, and that way we can minimize the time that she's in jail, and I'll allow her to stay out until then.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes,
just for the court's information, as far as there being a SATIV relapse that we know of, because I know I asked Ms. Molina, the supervisor of the program, that she knows of, there's no SATIV relapse. So if Mr. Dankos has proof of that facility, that he says that there is a relapse, maybe he can forward that to you, Your Honor, or to drug court.
I'll be well versed by the time we get back here on what the waiting time is, because, I mean, normally I order it and they handle it from there. This is kind of a different situation, so let's do it that way, and then I'll get up to speed here by Tuesday.
And Your Honor, maybe heard, could you at least make a judgment in part? The thing is that I understand that she was testing positive after this MTR, and I don't want her to be relapsing like. I would like her in DCP if she's going to be in DCP. I'd like her to be drug tested while she's out, just so she can avoid a relapse, another relapse.
Well, let's do this. I'll have her report to Ms. Cordova at least once a week till the 22nd.
I am also, I mean, I've been complying with my probation officer and stuff like that, but yes, that's fine.
Yes, Your Honor, we can have, if Ms. Villarreal continues to report with her officer, Mr. De Leon, at drug court. And then as far as drug tests, she would have to do those here in the main office, because if she does drug tests in drug court, they will not be able to be used in court, yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a question. She keeps saying at the drug court facility. I haven't been.
I know, but your probation officer is over there.
Right,
Mr.
I haven't, I've met with him, just through phone though. Is that fine, or do I need to, for this next meeting, do I need to physically?
You might want to visit with him in person.
Okay.
I'll advise him before the end of tomorrow.
Okay.
He did call me again, just to remind me you were coming up on the docket.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's expecting a call, because they want to know what my decision was going to be as well. Okay? All right.
That's all we have. We appreciate.
So, Your Honor, I'm sorry. So the MTR is going to be withdrawn
Yes.
and modified conditions to include inpatient treatment?
Yes, but I haven't decided which one yet, and she's going to be allowed out until the 22nd of March, but she'll be required to report weekly to the main probation office.
And as far as meeting with Ms. Cordova, is there a certain day and time, or does she want me to go downstairs right now and meet with her to arrange that?
Ms. Cordova?
Yes, Your Honor. So just to verify, she'll be reporting weekly with Mr. De Leon at drug court, and then she'll be reporting weekly for a drug test at the main office. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's the way we need to handle that.
Anytime.
Your Honor, and probation will, and to continue on probation, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Your Honor, is this going to be probation or DCP probation, I guess, is the question. Is she officially in DCP again now, or is this, or should we just wait and just modify it at this?
Well, I think that's what, yes, that's, oh, yes, the answer is yes, because after she completes the program, whichever one we send her to, she's going to be, she'll be admitted back into the drug court program. Does that make sense?
So then we're placing her back in DCP at this time, and then she'll just receive notice of which inpatient later. So because I know in DCP on stage 1, which is where she'd be at, they're usually getting tested 3 times a week. So I didn't know if this was.
We're not going to modify the requirements of the drug court program, and once she gets admitted to that, but until we get the final ruling, I guess, in there, we're just kind of modifying it till we get back here with me again on.
Yes, Your Honor. So what's the reset date, Your Honor?
March 22nd, 1 p.m. And
Okay, Your Honor, just to be clear, if MTR withdrawn, and modify conditions to include inpatient program pending the decision, and she'll be allowed to be out until March 22nd and be placed back on DCP, correct?
Right, with weekly reporting to both the main probation and to the drug court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Ms. Villarreal can report downstairs once court is done, so that way she can sign her amended conditions and report for that drug test. She's already here in the building.
All right, then that'll be ordered. Thank you, Mr. Dankos.
Oh, we have, Your Honor. Maybe we'll be excused.
Good luck.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you all are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sorry about that, jail. What do we have next at the jail?
So, Your Honor, yes, it's gonna be on the first page on the correction on my part, Your Honor. It's gonna be on the 341st docket. It's gonna be on page 3. Alegría Daniel. Alegría Daniel.
On the 341st?
Your Honor, it's page 2, Your Honor.
Oh.
Alegría Daniel, I'm sorry, page 1.
There you go. The court calls, oh, there's a plea. The court calls 2021 CRB 13063 in the state of Texas versus Daniel Alegría. Mr. Alegría, you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'm here present, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Alegría.
Oh, this was the case, yes.
Your Honor, you also have the writ.
Yes, Judge, it's on the 341st civil writ docket.
All right, hold on a second. Yeah, the court is also calling 2023 CDJ 71D3, this Daniel versus the state of Texas. All right.
Your Honor, I apologize. Who filed the writ? Was that Mr. Garcia Davalos?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, just checking. Thanks, Johnny.
You're not on this case, right, Mr. Trevino?
No, they represent the co-defendant. Yeah. So even if he wanted to.
All right, Mr. Garcia, what do you want to take up first? I remember this was the case where
well, there's some motions that Ms. Sandoval and I spoke, and I believe that she's in agreement that we would like to just simply put on the record that we're in agreement. And then as to other motions that she may that she still needs to review, I will be asking and Ms. Sandoval as well if we can if the court can entertain those motions, especially because we just received a discovery as to the autopsy. I'm still pending the photographs. I'm sure that they have them. It's just that maybe they were not able to upload them since the medical examiner usually when they give the autopsy, they also include the photographs of the autopsy. But once I get that information, then we'll be able to proceed as to filing any other motions, such as if it's needed, an expert. But I don't know whether Ms. Sandoval wants to consider naming those that she's in agreement with.
I could do that, Your Honor.
okay, let's get that out of the way.
The motions that the state is in agreement to provide is, I'll start off at naming the title of the motions. The first one we're in agreement with is defendant's motion for disclosure of Rule 702 witnesses. And any facts or data relied upon by said witnesses.
And the next one?
Defendant's application for probation from the jury. We're not agreeing to probation, however, we don't oppose the defendant's motion.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, the next one?
Defendant's election as to punishment. They elect the jury to assess punishment. We're not opposed to that. Motion for jury shuffle. Motion invoking the rule. Motion for defendant to appear in personal clothing and without restraints.
I think I had signed that one off.
Okay.
On the 18th of January already.
Okay.
But
And
okay.
the next one the state is in agreement on is the request for notice of intent to offer extraneous conduct under 404B. The ones that the remaining motions that I guess are considered your typical pretrial motions, the state would like to confer with Mr. Garcia Davalos. Today, I believe they're going to not urge their motion for speedy trial.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. We're not urging it at this time since we were able to obtain the autopsy. But like I said, I'm sure Ms. Sandoval can further check with the medical examiner as to the autopsy photographs.
That's correct, Your Honor. So the remaining motions, we're going to confer and possibly come back to the court with agreements on those. The two motions that I believe the defense is going to ask that they be heard today is the motion to release defendant and set a reasonable bail, and the application for writ of habeas that will be heard today. Is that right, Jonathan?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
And he's currently being held on a $250,000 bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Mr. Garcia, are you going to argue, or are you going to put on any evidence on the?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may call Mr. Alegría on the stand so as to the writ of habeas corpus as to delay and
All right. Mr. Alegría, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in by the clerk?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Okay, Mr. Alegría, can you please state your full name for the record?
Daniel Alegría.
Okay, now, Mr. Alegría, I'm going to ask you as to your financial situation. As of now, have you been able to have you been able to secure funds to be able to post bail?
No.
How long have you been in custody?
Almost going on 2 years.
Okay, and throughout that time, have you been trying to see if you can post bail?
Yes.
Now, as to income, do you have any income coming in?
No.
And do you own any real estate, such as a house, a property?
No.
Do you own any vehicles?
Not at the moment, no.